This is really good news, and it's nice to have some good news from the royal family, who are certainly going through it at the moment, aren't they? So do you remember on, I think it was Friday, the King did this very kind of heartfelt speech and talked very openly about his diagnosis and about the importance of getting your screenings, getting the checks. Following that speech, over 100,000 people, or sort of since early December, over 100,000 people have logged on to this online screening tool, this NHS tool, where you can check what you're eligible for, what you should be getting, you know, mammogram, bowel checks, that kind of thing. There's up to 9 million people in the UK who are overdue for these checks that obviously happen at certain ages and with certain symptoms or whatever. And it's really good that, you know, they were hesitant. Camilla and Charles were hesitant at the beginning about talking about it. The Queen especially, Queen Camilla. So weird calling her the Queen. Apparently Camilla was quite reluctant for Charles to talk about it openly. She thought it would maybe put more pressure on him. But I think it's actually been part of his recovery and his journey as well, is talking about it and being open about it.
Yeah, and I thought it was very interesting he talked about people missing their checks because, I mean, we know men are a nightmare with, partly because of misconceptions over prostate checks, but also, I mean, I'm sure mammograms aren't very pleasant. I'm sure smear tests aren't very pleasant.
They're not.
But they've got to be done.
They've got to be done. And I love what the King said about, you know, a few moments of discomfort. I mean, obviously, being the King, he just sort of said it in that way. A few moments of minor inconvenience are a small price to pay. Well, basically, he's saying, you know, yeah, it's not particularly pleasant. Smear tests are not fun. I know prostate tests can...
No.
Well, they're much more straightforward now with blood tests and stuff.
now.
But I always say to people, are you serious? You know, are you really going to risk, you know, the risk of cancer because you don't want to have a smear test or whatever it is?